So be comfortable with your posture and focus your mind to this bell sound and follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma friends, before we start our meditation session, I will explain how we're going to practice today. So, in the beginning, we bring our attention to in front of our nose and our upper lip area. And from there, you bring your attention to the sensation of the inhalation, exhalation, and recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation, and stay there. So from that point, we're going to slowly observe the 5 aggregates: form, feeling, sensation, mental formations, consciousness, awareness, recognition. So your inhalation, exhalation is the form. And according to that form, sensation arise, the feelings arise. So that's why you recognize. According to that feelings, the sensation arise. And then according to that sensation, your understanding arise, this is inhalation. And according to that, the cognition arise, that you deeply experience the entire process. So this everything as one. And the thing is, when the inhalation happens, you recognize it in that way. And also when the exhalation happen, what happening? According to the exhalation, you recognize exhalation. And according to that, the feelings going to become different. Sensation completely become different. And in the beginning, the first one you recognize as a inhalation. So this one, now you understand as exhalation. So according to that, from first experience to second experience, the completely whole these 5 aggregates completely change. So observe that in the moment by moment what you experience, and that experience itself change. So that is what you have to mainly focus. So while you observing this way, now you're going to see the change. And little by little, when you keep recognizing this change, mentally, physically, you're slowly going to become calm down and relax. And because of that relax, because of that recognition, now you experiencing the change. According to inhalation, what you recognize, change. What you feel, change. According to exhalation, what you recognize, change. What you feel, change. So when the mind able to go with this change, what is happening? So today you mainly recognize the 5 hindrance. So the first one is called Kama Chanda, the desire to become. So now you experiencing deeper this moment by moment, you change, your what you experience change. As a result of that, what is happening? The desire drop. Your karma chanda, the becoming nature, slow down. And as a result of that, what is happening? Vyapada means the anger or the resistance. When the desire drop down deeply, the resistance start to slow down. It's going to fade little by little, little by little. It's not going to happen suddenly. Little by little, it's going to fade. It's like the same like sun rising, sunset, and it's not going to happen suddenly, little by little, moment by moment. And Thina Midda means the heaviness of your body. The kind of like a dullness that we hold in your mind. So when the anger or the resistance disappear, what is happening? Your mind start to able to be with more calm and relaxed and comfortable, and at the same time there is a kind of like a deeper connection arise with the loving kindness, generosity. So because of that, what is happening? This heaviness slowly start to disappear. You feel more comfortable, relaxed. And as a result of that, what is happening? Your mind start to stay in the moment. Listen this very carefully. So your mind start to get into the very moment and stay with the inhalation, exhalation. So then the mind not going to pass to the future. And that is where the doubt going to, the Kamachanda, Vyapa, Thinamidda, Uddacha Kukkucha. Uddacha Kukkucha means restlessness. Restlessness regarding your own life, related with the past or the future. So that going to disappear. Why? Because the mind now become more comfortable with the inhalation, exhalation. And then as a result of this all, you experiencing what you practice work. And that is where the doubt disappear. So then remember how we start with the five hindrance, 5 aggregates, and then from 5 aggregates and slowly your mind state little by little going to 5 hindrance. When you able to work again and again and again, when you go in this, that is what called bhavana. Why? Because you purifying yourself, and as a result of this purification, what is happening? Your mental formations become minor. Your names and forms that you carry in your mind start to become disappear. And when the names and forms come out of your consciousness going to become very clear. And in a certain level, your consciousness going to be without much names or the forms. That's mean lack of information. That is where you are going to experience the very moment that whatever come to the sensation. That is where you recognizing how things come to be as they are. So be very clear, and then you know how this is happening, and it's yourself again and again when you are in this path, and it will help you to come out of the self view, and that will help you to come out of that all the unnecessary informations, and that will help you to come out of all the unnecessary doing. Silabbata paramasa. So that is the entrance for the First, absorption. So this is the path. So from the beginning, observe the inhalation, exhalation. Inhalation, and that is the form you're going to recognize. And according to that form, observe the change. Inhalation brings certain kind of feelings, and that feelings bring the sensation. That sensation brings the recognition, the awareness, or the that as this is inhalation, and kind of like a mental formations to recognize as inhalation, and that all this process keep bind through your consciousness as one inhale, and that going to change when the exhalation happens. So experience this very carefully. What you experience when inhalation happen did not going to happen when the exhalation happens. So this is not you doing anything, it is happening itself. And when you able to experience the change moment by moment, and then the very first thing going to be that slowly the desire going to be slow down, and desire going to be minus in the five hindrance, and then as a result of thus that the resistance going to become minus, and as a result of that heaviness, dullness going to disappear, and you awake. It's kind of like you're going to become fully activate with your consciousness. Your energy becomes so higher, and as a result of that, what is happening, and you again and again stay in the present moment, and you detach from past or the future, and because of that, no any kind of that the restlessness going to be, and as a result of that, no doubt going to be, because you know the path is working for you. So that's how we going little by little, little by little. So try to give your best for the practice. So your right palm on your left, and neck get straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So scan head to toes 3 times yourself. Say Swapateva, oh, may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this evening, in this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. So deeply inhale, exhale 3 times and find the sensation. Let everything to settle down and observe and follow the change. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Bring attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire this compound, this village, this city, this state, this country, and this world, and this universe. And as far as we can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding ourselves like this. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward to your backside, to your left side, to your right side, downward and upward. To all six directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dhamma friends, in the universe there is a star called Arundhati star. So this Arundhati star, there is a very nature, there are two stars. The very nature of these two stars, both the stars behave according to the behavior of the other star. And it's same like yin and yang. And the most of the planets and the stars, as you know, independent, and it just move itself. But the difference in this Arundhati star, these two stars named the same name, and these both stars rotate around each other, and the both have the same speed, no difference. If one star change, and according to that change, the other star also change. From the ancient time, even in the Eastern astrology, they used to observe this star. Even in the Eastern logic, there is a method called Arundhati method. When you argue, when you do something, and sometimes they get example out of these two stars. It's a kind of like a universal behavior. And when it comes to our consciousness, it has the same kind of behavior. How you become, how you go with this samsara. So it is a very subtle, but just hearing this, even sometimes you may not going to understand it. But even just hearing this, it's going to become familiar for you. Maybe one day, if you keep practice yourself, there is a moment come, or maybe when you become matured little by little, and maybe you're going to understand. Maybe you will understand now. But somehow, from where the consciousness get the power? So how you are deeper, this consciousness exists moment by moment. What is the food for the consciousness? Because as you know, when you see the very closest things for the consciousness, mental formations. For the mental formations, very closest one is sensation. For the sensation, very closest one is the feelings. For the feelings, very closest one is the form. But if you think this mind or your consciousness or your cognitive depending from the mental formations is different. The consciousness itself depending from the form, name and the form. As a result of that, this other everything going to happen as a pattern. So if you look very closest one, you're not going to get it. And you think it is mental formations. It is not the mental formations. Your consciousness depending from the names and the forms. So how the names and form arise? If you little bit slow down and think, it come as a result of consciousness. Look at all the names in the world that when it come to language, if you go to the beginning of the language, that everything someone else's idea. Someone else had the idea regarding something, and then the words came out of that. Maybe somebody experienced something, out of that experience, then they create the word. That's how the word came. And then now we bound to the language, and the bound to the language means we just keep holding it, and we use the language to understand certain. So then the language feed our consciousness. But how the language became like that, how the language born as a result of the consciousness. So now we feed the consciousness using the language, and the language become stronger because of the consciousness. And the form, so the name and the form the same. So the forms also deeply arise related with the consciousness. So that's why it say what you think you become. So when you able to end your names and the forms, there is no the consciousness going to depend. So in the even though that consciousness arises with the names and form, when we look at this outside world, we have no power, we have no authority regarding this outside things, because it's so huge, it is kind of like we cannot interfere with the nature. So this everything has a form. So from where then the karma arises, that is the most important part, because just having consciousness related with the name or the form doesn't mean you're going to become. It's going to become a karma. So from where the karma play the game, when the name and when the consciousness have the contact with the name and the form, in the middle of that, to keep that bound, you need the desire. That desire never come from past, even though it has the experience, it never arise from the past, and it never going to arise from the future. Always your intention, your desire arise in the very this moment. So your consciousness related with the name and form, and the name and form has a connection with the consciousness. So in between this, in the middle, to keep the connection, stronger the connection, you need the karma. That karma is all that you need the desire. The desire always arise in this very moment. That is what called karma. That is how out of your action it going to become good or bad. So the very important thing here, you have to understand, whatever you have done bad or good in the past doesn't mean in this very moment what you do going to be good or bad. So sometimes you think you have done something good in the past. So now you have to be, now I think it become very clear for you. So whatever you have done in the bad or the good in the past doesn't mean in this very moment what you do in this very moment, there is the desire in you. If you able to recognize that and change that from this point, that whatever you're going to do, your karma going to change. This method teach only in Buddhism. The Buddha is the one who saw this connection. The connection means your consciousness, your mind, your chitta related with the name or the form, and the name and the form related with the consciousness. This interconnection in the middle, intention. That's what called Chetana Ahang Bhikkave Kammang Vadami. So what you think, you become. So the consciousness get the thinking power. What is mean thinking? In the past you cannot think, in the future you cannot think, always you think in the present moment. So in this very moment, what you think, and according to that quality of your thoughts, maybe if it is related with the greed, hatred, or the delusion, then things going to be wrong. And if it is related with the loving kindness, generosity, compassion, and the wisdom, it's going to be thought. This is the thing. Listen this very carefully. When this very moment, when you take a decision, if you don't know the very nature of your action, so that's mean itself, you have the doubt or the unclarity in you. And that's mean that you have no idea regarding the situation. In another way, you are in the blind spot. And that is what in the literally we call ignorance. You are in the blind spot because you don't see it very clearly, but still you take action. When you take action in the blind spot, it always going to end with the suffering. There is no way, if you take action in the blind spot, not knowingly reasons, there is no way it's going to end with the good. So that is the power of the awareness. Why? Because when you become aware, when you recognize, even if you do something bad, but you recognize it is bad, that one day will help you to come out of the bad. But if the blind spot, even you don't know you are in the blind spot, and you have no idea where it's going to end. So the consciousness get power from the name and form. And there are some people misunderstood this, and that's why they get out of the feelings and stay away from the feelings. Feelings not the feed to the consciousness. The sensation is not the feelings to the consciousness. Even there is no feelings, no sensation, if it's still the name and form, you're going to exist. Even you can create very bad karma without sensation, without feelings, without the mental formations. If the consciousness exists related with the name or the form, still you can create any karma related with the desire. So then always remember yourself. Forget about what you're feeling. As you know, the feeling doesn't make any sense in life. See, but in the day-to-day life, we go with the feelings. But remember to get into the very nature of the name and the form, and see what is the very nature. So if you know the name and the form related with the change, if it is possible to change, so whatever outcome, be ready to accept that change. And that way you're not going to suffer anywhere, because you know the very essence of the name and form. But the thing is, we always deal with the name and form knowingly, solid experience, and we waiting for the solid experience. And when it change, and even though you no longer related with the feelings or the sensation, still you going to have a hard time. So then always remember and be very careful. No matter whatever happened in the past, don't worry about it. You can fix this all. And so whatever the bad things happen in the past, Forget about it. Today you can become completely new person in this very moment. And remember, whatever you take the decision, take it mindfully. Then things going to change. And even you have done good in the past, that doesn't mean that your life going to be good. In this very moment, always remember to take a good decision, very clear decision, whatever you do. Even if you are in the middle of the hell and with the chaos in the middle of the tornado, just take a good decision in this very moment. Remember, in your life, wherever you go, whatever happened in your life, right away get into the center point and get the right decision from there. Don't get disturbed from the past. Most sometimes we give up. Sometimes we go to bad decisions. We think, oh, now everything went wrong, just I do whatever I want. Don't do that, because one decision can change. It's same like the boxing. That you go to 12 rounds, so you don't give up. Why? Because one punch can knock out the other person. It is possible. It happened. So you always try. You always try your best in wherever in the moment. You don't get disturbed. You don't keep reminding how many hits you got. No. You always become very careful, and at the same time, maybe 10 rounds you had the good points, but still you become very careful and you always depending from the other person until the final bell ring. You keep going. So remember, the life also like that. In a deeper your level in yourself, never give up hopes regarding to change the situations or to become a good person. So that is where you're going to always become a new person day by day, day by day, day by day. So otherwise, so whatever happened according to that, don't allow you to happen and go to the future yourself. And always yourself, when you know this mechanism, because there is nothing else, there is nothing beyond name and form can feed you to your consciousness. There's nothing. And there is nothing can exist the name and form beyond the consciousness. That is where this all the gods and everybody going to go away. When you know this, they're not going to anymore come to your head. But if you don't know this mechanism, any ghost can appear in front of you. So then always remember yourself, keep the clarity in the moment. It doesn't matter whatever happened in the past. Always you can fix the moment. So there was a student came to Zen Master and he told, Master, I came to practice meditation. I have a big problem in my life. So Master asked, tell me what it is. I get so angry and I don't want this. I want to come out of it. So the master told, oh, that is good. I can help you. So can you show me your anger? The student told, no, now I cannot show that. So then the master asked, so when you can show it? Then the student told, sometimes it comes. So then the master asked, how about that your parents gave it to you? No. So is there any friend gave it to you? No. So then is there any fixed time? That sometimes mean, is there any fixed time like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning or at night 8 o'clock? No, I cannot tell that time. So then master asks, then what kind of ways that in what kind of moment, what kind of action it helped to make you angry? And the person told, I cannot tell that also. So then the master told, then why you hold it as yours? And from that day, the person came out of the anger. So don't try to put a label on something and thinking it is related to you. Me, it's mine. We personalize. Then because of that idea, and you experience it. And when the day you come out of the idea, it is not yours. And half of the things going to go away. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patient courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. So during this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.